There's a school within Zen Buddhism called Rinzai. Rinzai Zen is noted for its emphasis on two things. One, its rigorous meditation, and number two, the deep study of koans. Koans are poetical sayings like, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" They seem nonsensical, but they are designed to get the student out of thinking in dualistic terms. Rinzai Zen is the hardcore school. Meditation sessions can go on for days. And when disciples flag and they start to nod off, the Roshi will come by behind them sneakily with a bamboo pole and whack them on the back. Now, I've been told by someone who has gone through this meditation that it's not meant to hurt the student, and it doesn't. It just makes a loud noise, and it startles them back into form. Yet, in the Buddhist literature, there are stories of monks who, after years of meditative discipline and deep study, do something like sweeping the yard with a bamboo broom. And the broom catches a pebble and sends the pebble skittering across the floor. And the sound of the pebble as it bounces across the floor is enough. Something clicks, and immediately the monk is sent into enlightenment. So all the years of meditation and study, years of discipline, yet a random event sends the person into nirvana. The lesson of the story is that what the monk devoted his life to was not really the thing, but somehow it led him to the thing in unexpected ways and even in the mundane. Now, I thought about this preparing today's sermon because there are parallels in the first part of Matthew's gospel where Jesus engages Pharisees and scribes over a different sort of rigorous practice, observing Jewish purity laws, what we call keeping kosher. Now, from the Jesus of Matthew's gospel, Jesus was not creating a new religion or dismissing what came before. He was the fulfillment of the law of what had come before, and Jesus was the one prophesied to come in the future. The Pharisees and scribes took offense, though, when Jesus said, "It is not what goes in the mouth that keeps us pure, but what comes out," seemingly saying Jewish ritual laws were not important, and therefore calling into question their authority. Now, Jesus sometimes speaks in mystical koan-like ways. We call them parables. Jesus evokes a couple today when he talks about things that defile and things that are pure. In the first, Jesus points out hypocrisy, saying false authority will be uprooted, and these folks should not be worried about Jesus, but their own teaching. He says what is important, the thing that is right in front of them, but they either willfully or out of ignorance don't see, distorts the spirit of the law. Jesus says they are like the blind leading the blind, and that's where we get this phrase. Their lack of insight compounds because they are not just scholars, but teachers. What they teach harms not only them, but those whom they instruct. And there's an immutable truth in this. We humans are often like these scribes and Pharisees toward Jesus, quick to criticize, someone else for not adhering to the rules that we ourselves do not fully understand, and to which, to be truthful, we tend to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. Well, Jesus calls this out. The ungenerosity of spirit is really a deflection from themselves. The Pharisees and scribes promulgated an idea of purity that was a mechanism for division, a mechanism for exclusion. The clean are on their side, and the unclean is everyone else. But in Jesus' conception, the fulfillment of the law is in the overcoming of such divisions. God creates us out of love. And what is created out of love is already pure. But we mess up. We fail living up to the goodness for which we were created. So to make up that difference, which we cannot do ourselves, God sends his only Son, Jesus. For Christians, the division between the clean and unclean is reconciled. It's reconciled in the person of Jesus himself. Now, the second parable, and this is the important one with respect to the law, is that humans do not keep pure by following what is approved or not approved to eat, or how one ritualistically washes oneself in a certain way, or by not breaking bread next to people who are different from ourselves. We keep pure by reflecting the words and the actions that we put out into the world. Jesus says, look to yourselves. Put goodness and love out there, not shame, not judgment, not bad actions. For Jesus, we do not attain purity by striving to follow the letter of the law, but through its living spirit, which is the spirit of love. We are only pure by relying on God's abundant grace and then responding to it in the only way that is appropriate, by giving thanks and putting back good thoughts and right intentions and just actions into the universe in order to help others. That is purity in the sense that Jesus teaches. So it's not what goes in our mouths that defiles, it is what comes out. And if what comes out is judgmental or hypocritical, it paints everything that way, especially ourselves. But if what comes out is thoughtful and prayerful and holy, then that spirit reflects on ourselves and the world, and both are transformed. That is the message that Jesus taught back then, and it's the one that not only the church, but the world needs to hear today. Which brings me back to the Zen monk. Just as Jesus came not to destroy the law, but as its fulfillment, the story of enlightenment and the sound of that pebble skittering along the path is not a renunciation of Zen practice, but it is a reminder built into the Zen literature itself that what we take for right practice may not itself be the thing that we're really looking for. Jesus' interaction with the scribes and Pharisees reminds us that rules are not the goal. In the end, love is the goal. Let me repeat. In the end, love is the goal. Love founded in the self-giving love of God, who went to the cross and who rose victorious, that all should have life and love and have them abundantly. Amen.